This week, I saw something inside our system that made me really stop and think. Not because it was some crazy AI tool or latest hack, but because it showed me really where all this AI work is heading. And we've been testing this new feature inside of the Earlibird app over the last few weeks, and it really showed that the businesses that will get the most value from AI over the next few years, they're not the ones who are using these latest and greatest tools necessarily. They're the ones who are really using AI to do the real work inside of the business. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Chris from Earlibird, and over the last 2 years, we've built AI systems for more than 60 different businesses, trained hundreds of business owners and their teams, and our AI has handled more than 171,000 real customer conversations. So what that means is this is not just theory for us, this is real work inside of real businesses. And here's why all this matters, because most businesses right now, as you watch this video, are sitting on a huge amount of really useful information. This is hidden within things like emails, SMSs, call notes, pipeline histories, and past conversations. And the problem is not that the information isn't there. The problem is that nobody has time to go back through all of it properly. So what ends up happening is good leads will get missed, follow-ups get delayed or forgotten, and at the end of the day, money leaks out of the business. Now, it's not part of any, big mistakes or even small mistakes. It's just part of the way that businesses have been operating up until this point in time. Because, if AI can go through all of this mess and find what matters and then help your team act faster, that isn't just cool, that's actually useful. What that means is better follow-up, better decisions, less wasted time, and at the end of the day, more value from information that you already have. So let me show you a real example of this. We were helping a client the other day who had just opened up installer coverage in an area near Sydney. So she knew she had people who inquired about this particular location near Wollongong, essentially, about this particular product, but she couldn't actually help them. Now, what the question was is, now that we have installer coverage in that area, who's in the database that we should reach back out to? Now, this sounds really simple, but the records weren't perfect. Some contacts didn't have the suburbs saved properly. Some had useful information and details that were buried within old emails and past conversations. So you'll see here what we did is, instead of manually digging through all these records and trying to find all this information, we used this new feature called Ask AI. And what it did is that search through all the wider history within the system of emails, messages, conversations, and context, and it actually found 6 relevant contacts. So you'll see here, we've asked the AI to find all the contacts that inquired about these particular locations, and we gave it a little bit of context. Now, you'll see here that it did a full sweep of over 1,400 contact records, which would have taken a human a lot of time to do, and it found initially 5 contacts in the area, and you'll see down here that it actually expanded out to 6 because of some other things that we did. So you'll notice it came back with 5 confirmed contacts, one of them having a hot lead tag, which is intent to purchase, that was active via the live chat. So all the conversations that our AI has with prospects get saved into the system here, and this is all very intentional. And the AI had identified someone as a very hot lead and tagged them with intent to purchase. And it also found 2 more contacts that both requested a free measure and quote, which has high purchase intent as well. And so then what we asked it to do was to draft an outreach. So we said, write an email and an SMS in the style and tone of this particular client. Now, this client is amazing. We've been working with her for years and she's fantastic, but she's also the opposite of what AI would normally do. She's very direct, she's very blunt, and she's also very to the point. So if you know what AI is like when it writes emails, it's usually very fluffy and it beats around the bush, and it's essentially the opposite of her writing style. So we asked it to personalize the message based on her style and tone and the conversation history of each of the contact records. And it could see this because it can see all the past email interactions within the system, and it picked up her tone and it did really, really well. It was direct, it was clear, and it sounded just like her. Now, the only thing we had to change was the use of these things called M dashes in the email. So you'll see that in a moment. Now, what it actually did also is it found, and you'll just see here confirmation of that 6th contact record, and then you'll see here that we've actually gone through. Actually, one more quick note on this too. We asked the AI to also tag these contact records with that location, so in the future, we could easily find them and follow up with them within the system. Oops, I should say, and also here, when it ran the contact information, it found some more information for context that it recommended flagging and talking about with one of these particular contact records, as you'll see on the screen. That's absolutely amazing, right? That's huge. Now, this is awesome. This is great. But one of these contact records didn't have a phone number saved on the contact. So if we look at this over here, we'll just scroll down a little bit more. And you'll see here that this specific contact, Gavin, is his name. He came into the system via a Facebook DM, right? So with our AI, it'll respond when someone replies via Facebook, Instagram, live chat, and a variety of different platforms. And so what the AI would have done is had a conversation, gathered the email address, and then passed it over to the client to follow up, which is exactly what the process is that she'd like to have happen. So you'll see here that the contact came in via Facebook. We grabbed the email address, but there was no phone number there as well. Now, normally this would stop the SMS from being sent out or even a phone number, a phone call, apologies. But what it actually ended up doing is it searched through all the contacts and it found the phone number in an old email signature. So think about that. The client's been having email back and forth with this particular client, and in the signature of one of these emails, it picked up this contact record's phone number. So as you can see here, that there's been a bit of conversation going on between AI and then the client, and then it says here, and it included his mobile in the signature, right? Which is absolutely awesome. Now, we naturally asked the AI to update the email, to remove the M dashes as I mentioned earlier, and add the mobile to the contact record as well. Right, so as you'll see here, we can then obviously update the contact records and also go ahead and send the email and the SMS as well. So that's the value here, guys. Like, this is not just, AI wrote something, it found what mattered, right? It pulled it out of all the mess and it helped the team act on it really, really quickly. Now, that's an absolute game changer. Now, here's another really, really quick one as well on this particular feature, which is this Ask AI. And we asked it, now obviously I can't show everything here because this is our live data, but we asked it to go through our recent conversations and just find, as part of this request, some of the hidden trends that we might not be seeing within the business. So you can see here, things like the qualified but didn't book leak is our biggest addressable gap. So we can spend our time focusing on that particular element. It also picked up that we have a natural re-engagement window appearing in early April, and went through and it's analyzed the replies, especially the auto replies from a lot of our emails, and it found that there were several people who were timed to come back in April based on their out of office reply, which is these out of office replies. It also found our 4 plus month nurture cycle, and also even what frames work best when it comes to our sales. It also identified that multiple decision makers are a bit of a silent barrier for us, and it's sort of helping us actually overcome that barrier, actually, especially with the recommended next actions. And then also even how our nurture sequence, right? So we have a nurture sequence that runs, and we also have a sales sequence that runs, but it's identified that they actually look pretty similar, and we should go ahead and change that out. So this is just one small use case of what we've been doing in here as well. So think about this for a moment. AI now can go through all of your context and your, I guess, business intelligence and data and extract useful information and act on it. And this is why we've done what we've done with the Earlibird app and our AI systems, because all the conversations that our AI has is stored in this one centralized place. And this is where I think that a lot of people are still going wrong with AI. They think that the value is, mostly in things like asking it to write things or, come up with different designs for X, Y, Z. And yes, that helps, but the bigger value is when AI actually helps your business do better work. So as I mentioned earlier, find what matters faster, use your information better, follow up better, and then help your team make better calls and act on those calls as well. In a recent training I ran, I said that work is no longer just something that you do, it's something that you actually design. So you design the system, you design the flow, and you design what AI does within that process and what the team does as well. And that's where this is really heading. AI is changing the way that we work, right? It's changing the way that business is done. It's doing more of the work, not just assisting, right? And that completely changes the game. So if you're a business owner watching this, there's 3 things that I'd recommend you do right now. The first is to start capturing more of your business information in the one place. So, for example, if you have customer conversations, they're happening in phone calls, perhaps maybe emails, text, DMs, live chat, make sure all that information first and foremost is being saved, but ideally it's being saved in the one location to make it really easy to work with the AI. And again, that's why we use the Earlibird app. The second thing you should do is clean up the basics. So go through all this information and just organize it. Maybe you have notes over in one particular tool or system. Maybe you have tags or some pipelines somewhere else over, as well. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect overnight, but messy or disorganized data makes the AI much less useful. So just identify where is information being stored and how can you start centralizing it and organizing it. And the third thing you should be doing is stop asking about, do we have AI? And start asking and thinking about how can AI use our information and our workflows to help us make better decisions and act on it now? Because that is the better question, because just having access to a tool is not the same as getting real value from it. So if you want help thinking through any of this or implementing any of this as well, please go ahead and let us know. If you've received this video via email, just hit reply, tell us what you want to learn about or what you want help with. And if you're watching this online, leave a comment below and tell us what you'd like help with as well. So we have a lot more to share because there's a lot of hype in this space. There's a lot of Look, I'm just going to go out there and say it, and this is not going to make me any friends, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people just clearly lying. Things like, I built 50 AI agents and are now running my $25 million business and maybe $5 million this last week. A lot of that's just marketing at best and lies at worst. And so we've got a lot more to share, which is not the hype, it's not the fluff, it's just the practical ways to use AI to make your business run better and make more money. Our whole reason for being is to help businesses increase their revenue and reduce the operational drag with AI. So anyway, that's it for me for this one. If you want more on this, hit reply, leave a comment, book a call. We've got a lot more to share, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.